The South Bronx, the borough that gave birth to hip-hop.
There's a militarized police department that is ready to attack the people. Young people have taken the streets, they've shut down the highway.
There's an understanding that when the planet wins, the people win too.
Don't stop. You don't stop. You don't stop.
Amor, justicia, hip hop, revoluciones.
Good evening, this is Ex-Welfare Rights.
We have some of our close friends, and they're involved in something called the Midwest Poverty Tour. Yes. And what they're doing is traveling different parts of the country to try to get the real scoop on why there's so many low-income people. How is it that they got to be like that? What's the story?
If you remember the Poor People's Campaign, it was the campaign that Dr. Martin Luther King started to eliminate poverty in this country.
Not only haven't things changed since Dr. King called for a revolution to transform the society, but things have actually gotten worse. And so we're trying to build this campaign, and we think the best way to build it is to go out and meet with the people who are on the front lines of the struggle in different places in the country and learn from them. We're going here to Chicago. We were just in Elkhart, Indiana. Now we're going to be in Detroit. We're going to go to Flint, and we're going to end up in Cleveland.
People here in this part of the country, as well as around the country, talks about this place as like the heartland or Middle America. We're trying to build a movement of the poor and dispossessed. People uniting on the basis of what they have in common, how they're hurt around all of these different issues of the economy and poverty, housing, homelessness, the environment.
Chicago, much like as part of what I call the Rust Belt, with the declining industries, manufacturing industries, just the fallout is incredible. People are trying to live on $2 a day in Chicago as we speak, as I speak here. This is absolutely immoral and unconscionable that this is happening in a city like Chicago, Illinois, where you have the gleaming downtown and billions of dollars flowing. And you have people on the other spectrum. It's not just an issue of I'm making poverty wages. I'm trying to live on less than $2 a day. This is the reality that we face. If you look in Flint, Michigan, you can see, if you look around the south side of Chicago, you can see that there are just as many white folks out of work dealing with issues of poverty in this country as there have been black folks. And so there's a real equalization of poverty that really, I think, lays the foundation for the kind of fight that we can make that's independent from the Democrats, independent from the Republicans, that really expresses and demands what we need as a class, working class in this country.
The patterns of what's happening to impoverished communities, of what you just described, resonate because it's happening all over the country. The idea of the Poor People's Campaign is how do we unite the poor and dispossessed across this nation so we can become a force to be reckoned with. They're unsung saints. They're not on TV, but they're unsung saints who are in the trenches doing the work. It's got to be based in love. That's where our strength comes from.
This gentrification and the consolidation of the wealth and the capital in Chicago, it has just over the years been increasing and increasing, right? And the inequality and the way that the poor have just been pushed out, the public housing has been dismantled. Where do those people go, And so then we went from there down to South Chicago. They've got toxic waste just piled up right across the street from neighborhoods.
I have no intention of moving. I want my children to grow up here. This is the biggest basin of fresh water in the planet. Why would I ever want to leave? The people who need to leave are these corporations who are contaminating our water and our land.
But people who live next to this kind of industry, how it's normalized, you wake up, you see it in your window, when you're washing dishes and you're looking out, you see the smokestacks. But then, you start to ask questions like, wouldn't it be nice to be able to take a stroll down the Calumet River on a hot summer night? But that's not even a possibility. Living next to a river or a lake, should be like something that's enjoyed by the people who live there. but we don't have access to the lake or the river, or to the rivers in our neighborhood, but industry has 100% access. They can get in and out and use those rivers any way they want, and that's not right.
New York Times did an article where they said, Elkhart County is the white-hot epicenter of the economic meltdown, right? Because our unemployment rates went from about 4 or 5% to over 18% in the matter of a couple months. Monaco Coach, which was one of the largest employers in the county, closed, and a lot of RV manufacturers, which is the main industry here. It used to be that you could get a good job at Bayer or Miles, and you could count on that, or at Whitehall, or at Conn-Selmer, but those jobs aren't around anymore. Boarded up houses, right? Places that are, the church that's abandoned. These things. People, it's a real struggle. If the GDP is going up, that doesn't mean that the neighborhoods are feeling it. Even if the RV shipments are going up, that doesn't necessarily trickle down. We need to have deeper understanding. We need to have everyone engaged in the conversation so that we really have a solution and a future that works for everyone. Our community can't control its future and its destiny by itself, right? So we have to get together. There's something that's growing. There's a movement that has a vision that's compelling, that's a vision for everyone, and that we all have a place in that. That's just deeply encouraging and gives me hope.
Well, I've been praying all day and crying all night. I said my faith's been blinded by these red and blue lights. Don't wanna live in fear, but it's all I've known. I forgot I had a freedom song.
It was almost a relief to know that none of us are in this alone and that we can do something about it. And so there was lots of good ideas in knowing what the issues were and trying to come up with a way to address them, to let people know we can.
I remember the first Poor People's Campaign. Remember what a powerful speaker Dr. King was. Hearing the words again tonight was very heartening. Brought back so many feelings, the empowerment that he would give, the hope, and that's what we need. It seems like too many people have gone by the wayside. We need this campaign more than ever to reignite, to give the people a voice, where we are heard, we are human, we are one people.
So let's do this, man. Yeah, because it needs to happen.
Yes.
Like sooner than later.